a more luxurious restorative experience for our afternoon workshop. So this is day 4 of this 5-day training where I'm showing you all the different ways that we can utilize the swing. And as you can see, the swing looks really low, much lower than we normally practice. So I'm going to show you how to do the suspended somatics therapy, which is a translation of the different poses that we learn in our aerial yoga play and AYRx Therapeutix. And so the suspended somatics therapy, what does that mean and why are we creating a whole nother module and modality? Well, some people are intimidated by the word aerial and some people are intimidated by the word yoga, and I understand that those words aren't for everybody. So somatics therapy is a way of experiencing and exploring the body with more feeling and awareness to help release the patterning that has been a long-term habit. So that's where we're going today in our workshop, is we're gonna play our way into a healthier, happier body. And so we bring the swing down pretty much. If you're standing behind the swing, you can see it's gonna be, you can be even lower and close to the ground. So it's gonna be below the hips. And then we're actually going to use the leg loops instead of a loop position. We're going to use it in a straddle. So it's going to look like a second swing, which actually 2 leg loops equals 1 swing. So little secret sauce that you get 2 swings in one with the leg loops spread out. So we're going to triple up the leg loops so that each one is straddling across like a saddle. And so we do that on both sides. So the leg loops come with these carabiners, and that allows you to change the position. Now we can bring this up and down, and we're going to experiment to see how it feels. I usually like to have one a little longer than the other because the swing is going to stretch out more. So I'm actually going to exaggerate this, and I'm going to bring the leg loops down one more on each side if you have the length of the daisy chains. If you don't, then just modify. I will always just like hang the leg loops onto the handhold in a pinch, or mix it up. See how you can get it lower, or go ahead and order another set of daisy chains from me and I can make extensions for you, and that's really helpful. So we're going to try this out. So then when it's really low like this, how do we get in and out of the swing? Well, I usually like to stand in front of the swing and I just keep backing up, and hopefully you have enough room in your space. We're working from home with the virtual training this time, and then we keep tension on the swing and leg loop. And so I have the leg loops a little bit lower, they're more towards my hips, and then the swing, the main swing at my upper body. I usually take my hair down for this because we're going to be utilizing the ground, and then we don't want to get our ponytail in the way. So get anything out of the way. If your hair is up, just giving you a heads up, you can take that up and down as you need. And then you're just going to walk in. And so when you walk in, like we're going to be nice and low, playing with the ground. We're going to go ahead and let the swing slide up a little bit higher onto the shoulder blades, which you'll never hear me say in a normal practice. But basically, you're at the right height if your bum can touch the ground. Again, you have your own personal preference if you want to play a little higher or a little lower. And again, if you want to come in and out, you just hold on to the swing and walk back. You're going to pendulum swing in and out in order to find your relationship to it. And I'm just going to make sure that I time everything for us so we stay on time. I'll practice for hours if I don't actually use a timer. So we'll have about an hour and a half of more of our experience of exploring and being active, and then we're all going to have a nice, wonderful, long Shavasana meditation practice in the swing and cocooning. So please do stick around, enjoy this new experience that I'm offering called Suspended Somatics Therapy, which is like another variation of the therapeutics. Keeping tension on the swing, I have the main swing at my upper back, the leg loops a little bit lower, and I'm walking in. And everything's going to bunch up and gather behind my back. So I have it a little bit higher on my shoulder blades, and the extra material The extra cushion should feel really, really good. I'm just using my arms in a relaxed forearm press position, and I'm just going to windshield wiper my knees back and forth and start to add a little bit more of a twist. Make the adjustments you need. Bring the swing down if you want it lower. If it feels too low, bring it up so you have a little bit of suspension. You can always lean back and come into a back bend. Reset. I find that when I work with people, either on the ground or typically I work with the swing hanging over the massage table, which is so incredible, that people feel safer being closer to the ground. They feel more comfortable. So particularly for my elder clients, my elder family, for my clients that have no desire ever to do yoga, they love the swing over the table, because then I'm doing like stretching on them, pushing and pulling. For anybody who is a chiropractor or a physical therapist, you can see how this would be an incredible tool to use in combination with table work, because it can support the weight, it can support the body. And there's many, many different ways that we can do this. So from here, I like to just wiggle and roll around. You can see I make these incredible mandala mats, these round mats with the sacred geometry that help us define our bubble, define our space, so we can get out of the linear movements and start to feel that we can rock and lean back a little bit for a dynamic twist. So we're not just twisting in one plane, we're actually leaning back and rotating and getting more into the spherical, round nature of our body of light, that ball of energy that's around us, our own little bubble. And every single being is in their own droplet of water, their own bubble in this whole sea of consciousness, like I shared in the end of our meditation last time for the training practice. This is a multiple option, many options within the series. You can do just the workshops each day, which are 4 to 6, or you're welcome to do the full training, which is 20 hours over 5 days as part of a certification. It's a professional level training. So you can do this for your own personal growth and your own practice, or you can do it as part of your therapy that you already offer. So go ahead and lift the hips and drop the hips and feel the swing slide up and down your back. Just take a moment to experience it with gravity in a new way, keeping our feet on the ground. And when you are ready, come back in. We're going to do a lot of what I call harmonic motion or rhythm wave. We're pulsing back and forth. Even here, we're keeping our alignment, so we're keeping our chest lifted and our head sinking back either into our hands, or go ahead and just press your head back into an invisible wall so that we can get the openness through the front of the spine. Let's all come into Baddha Konasana. Keep the sternum lifting while the hips are dropping and rocking from side to side. Just feel your hips. Feel if the right side is tighter than the left. Feel if one feels sticky or stuck. I can definitely feel something happening here on my right side, so I'm going to work with undulation and pulsing through that hip crease and do the micro movements to roll around and pay attention. If it happens to be on the other side for you that feels a little sticky, most people are feeling an excess amount of tension on the right because of being right dominant. But yes, whatever your body needs, hang out there and give it a chance to breathe, give it a chance to release, and then go back and forth a few times and let it balance. The swing is such an incredible tool to work with gravity. So let it come into balance. Find a deeper relationship and harmony between the left and right side. Okay, great. And then from here, lean back again. Lean back and stretch up and down the spine. We're gonna go nice and slow. You can obviously do this with straight legs and just press like that if you want. Bend the knees, straighten the legs, roll around. So a lot of what we do in the standing poses, like the supported back bend, we can do here, but just lower to the ground. And just enjoy coming into a deeper twist in between. Up and down the spine, and then twist. Really good. And just see what that feels like. What are you noticing? Feel your IT bands, the outer line of the leg. Feel the hips and the twist. Feel your rib cage. Feel the transitions. Make sure that the body is happy. It might feel a little achy or a little sore after so many days of practice, but just notice, where are you feeling it? And take some time to breathe into that space. I always notice I can feel such a deep stretch through the obliques and the love handles that don't get a lot of space between the ribs and the hip. So for me, that's a tight area that opens up the QL that I love so much. So just see, where does your body want to open? Maybe one side does feel tighter than the other, and you want to go back and free flow a little bit and just play, because now I'm feeling, and I'll just describe some samples, some examples of my QL on the left side was tighter, and I wouldn't have known that unless I just pulsed back and forth a little bit and extended and been like, oh, right, wow, that feels really good. Don't push as much as allow. So we're changing our relationship to exercise. We're changing our relationship to healing and the body. That's why I wanted to do this really unique and special series of like the all-in-one of what I do in my own personal practice and my own, personal exercise, but also what I do in my work with my clients, with my programs, is to find a new way to play our way into a healthier, happier body. So we're working with mind, body, being interface today. Not only the physical alignments and the energetic alignments, but the mind alignment principles. Aligning our mind, really allowing for the body and mind to come together and to listen, to bring it down, to feel like we can tap into a state of being. Like right now, our state of being is going to be restorative, right? So relax everything, soften. You don't have to work so hard, just play. I'm walking my feet wide and bringing my knees in, and then I'm windshield wipering, pushing my inner knee down and feeling what that's like, the opposite of Baddha Konasana. And balancing out the left and right, the up and down, and just enjoy the swing giving you that little lift as you play on the ground. So this series is for everyone. There's always something for everyone. I give lots of variations, so some things might not feel right for your body today, but you get unlimited replay of this virtual training, the virtual workshops, for very affordable pricing. So please do take advantage of that and watch the replays. Send me your email address and I'll make sure that you have the right links, the right playlists, and we'll get that to you, me and my team. But for now, if you don't want to do something, make a modification and try a variation. So let's come into a deeper relationship to our supported back bends and jump or hop, skip, get the swing across your hips so that you feel like you're in a bridge pose. Tuck your chin into your chest and just hang out here for a little bit. I'm going to turn around so you can see me better. You're welcome to switch anytime that you want, and I'll show you, pulling yourself back up, how you can easily get in and out of these poses by simply sitting in the swing as well. So when you come down and you sit in the swing, then you can start to gently let it rise up and hang out at the hips. So when I'm in this position, I can bring my palms up and externally rotate my shoulders and feel like I have enough support here for my lower back to be happy. If you need to make a little adjustment, you can kind of give it a little hop. You can also spread it out or bunch it up. But you want to be in a place where you feel like you're supported in a bridge pose, as well as keep the neck happy and tuck your chin into your chest. You can come up onto your toes, which changes the position, and you can also just pulse a little bit. If anybody feels a little bit more flexy, you can interlace the fingers together and clasp your hands and pull them down, down towards your heels. And open up the shoulders a little bit more. If it feels good to just have the arms relaxed wide, very good. If at any time that feels like too much, I encourage you to come up. The swing might eat your clothes a little bit, so adjust the fabric and your clothing as needed. And then come back into it. Maybe you just want to stay here and you can do your bridge pose with the swing behind the heart. We want to make sure we're not just flaring out the rib cage and we're really working with the upper thoracic behind the heart, or we're keeping the swing across the hips and getting it nice and low so that we're not overextending the lumbar, but we're actually supporting the sacrum and the hips, bringing it lower. Beautiful. And then we are going to do some balancing poses. So again, make sure that you're close enough to the ground that you don't feel like you're going to drop out the other side. But you can lift one leg at a time and find your balance with the swing across the sacrum. This will feel really good. My palms are up and my hands are just out in a V shape, in a comfortable V shape. Chin in towards your chest. This is one of my favorite poses to do, to release the lower back. Wagging my tail a little, gently rocking from side to side, which you can also imagine lifting one heel towards the sky and then the other. Or I just like to do this gentle rocking. We're not really working, we're letting the body unwind and unfurl into the space. Doing this on the table just makes it a little bit more cushiony, and then we can play with the edges of the table, but we can still do this on the ground. When we have our chin tucked into our chest, it's really good for resetting the thyroid and the fifth chakra. So each pose has a whole array of benefits. And so when you just roll around and start to send the energy up and down the spine, we're releasing those tight intention spots that exist in the hips, in the shoulders, in the neck, all the hubs. And then, you can practice dropping the tailbone and then pressing the tailbone up very gently, keeping the hips even. Can you feel if one hip is tighter than the other? That's also common, that one is tilted, that's why we get pain or in asymmetry and imbalance, because one hip bone is sticking out more than the other or isn't tractioning. So just feel that. If you feel one a little bit more sticky or stuck, can you pulse gently, just finding the edges and playing with that until it feels like it loosens up. Take time to feel and slow down and be with the body in a new way. We're releasing the surface charge and the buildup of energy. And then we're going to hold on to the swings for support. And we're just going to gently scissor the legs forward and back. Now the knees can be bent here if it feels like it's too much on the back of the legs. Let it be a little bit more restorative and just hang out here. So you can imagine doing this in the air, it can be kind of scary for someone to do these big dynamic poses, but you can do the same shape of the pose of these scissor splits on the ground. And then once you get more comfortable, you can work up to doing them in the air without the support of the ground, because your body knows the shape, it knows the pivot points, it feels the dynamic range in which it can stay balanced. We're working with the balance here. And then when you're ready, we're going to go ahead and come back up to sit. Roll down, 1 foot at a time. And just hang out here and roll around. I'll turn back around again, but we're going to get into one more sequence with that pose. Feel what's happening here. Whenever I come out of the swing, I get this big rush of energy to where it was being squeezed and wrung out. Now it's being flushed with new blood and oxygen and energy flowing to it. And it's just such an incredible feeling. So we wring out parts of the body that are tight, and then it can fluff back up and soften. See if it feels good to come a little bit more into a back bend. And this time, roll around, pushing your feet into the ground. You can push back. You can do some loop-de-loops, some figure eights, whatever feels good. Just roll around. Have some fun with it for a little bit, swaying in the space. You can even let your arms go and rock, changing planes, rolling back and forth, side to side is so good for our brains. Support the head with your hands. If you want to try one arm at a time, just have some fun with it. Roll around. What an incredible Sunday. We get to just play. Thank you for being here and trusting me with your afternoon. I really love this practice. I love sharing it. It's very much an honor to blend and bring more of the teachings and awareness into it. So just let it feel good wherever you're at. Just be easy about it. Pulse and play and just listen to the body. If your body wants more restorative and relaxation, then skip some of the strengthening and dynamic poses and just stay the pose previous. I'll always give you options and say, hey, just stay here if you're good, and then if you want to try something else, here's the dynamic version. So listen to the body, listen to what it needs. Okay, cool. So we're going to come up to stand and sit in the swing, like a swing at the playground, and then we're going to like rock in. And this time what we're going to do is hold on to the swing and lean back. This is what we did in our earlier training, is we can just lean back and we can rock up and down, letting the swing slide up and down the legs a little bit. And then because we're doing restorative, we're going to skip all that yummy fascia work, but go back and watch the training to do all the fascia work with the legs. Your legs are probably cooked if you've been with me for the last 4 days, so we're just going to be gentle with the fascia today in the afternoon workshop. And then we're going to let all of the fabric go to the knees. So when the swing and the leg loops are all bunched at the knees, it's like a chi machine. So we're just rocking back and forth, rolling the sacrum out. Just feel the edge of the sacrum rocking on the ground and just notice how good that feels to just rock. This is how we get to reset the body. Just this simple harmonic motion. It's free energy, really. We're letting the swing do the work. And the hands can be relaxed, out to the side, palms up. You can also be overhead. Have your arms in the chilaxin position. Whatever feels good. Just let the body rock. Usually I like to work the entire spine together, so the upper and lower body is communicating, which means if my legs are rocking, then my head is rocking too. So I let the wave go all the way up the spine. Try not to hold any part tight. If the legs, I'm initiating the movement from the hips, but then I let that rhythm wave come all the way up into the neck like a weeping willow. The branches are just moving in the wind. Effortless. So imagine this is all you need to do to reset the energy body, to reset the nervous system. I was talking earlier about frequency, feeling, and fields. And there's a great video by Alan Watts that I shared online today, so look that up on my Facebook page and check it out. Let's learn about the quantum field through play. You know, I love teaching physics through play, the physics of the body, but the metaphysics of our lives. And then what I'm doing while I'm rocking is I'm letting the swing start to slide over my calves a little further down with straight legs. I'm slowly, slowly, slowly letting it inch down. Every transition is part of the pose. I'm letting it slide down towards my ankles. Yes. So it's like hooking at the Achilles. And then with the legs straight, notice that the part of the body touching the ground is we're rolling along the bottom edge of the sacrum now. A different sensation. Feel the part of your body on the ground rocking, and how different it is from at the knees. And just this tiny, tiny movement. You can take it down really easy and slow, so it's like a subtle micro movement. That's okay too. Obviously, I'm feeling a little bit more dynamic, so it just kind of happened. So this is what I call free energy. You pull to one side, and then it just naturally goes back the other way. Harmonic motion. This is getting into like the angular free energy. Angular free energy is amazing. All the spins and spirals. That's how we tap into the free energy of the body. It's just momentum. Angular momentum. So this is what's so great about being a kid and exploring swings, is you get to feel like when you pull the swing back, it comes forward. You know, for every action, there's an opposite equal reaction. It's just how energy works. And then if it feels good, I want you to trace the entire edge of the sacrum nice and slow. Roll around, bending your knees into your chest, and then straighten the legs out. And you can do loop-de-loops, figure eights. You can just change directions and sides as it feels good. I want you to actually feel your body, feel your back, and what feels good. You want to add a little bit more of a twist at the edges. I love me some twists. You can try that. I'm just pushing down into the swing to turn. Can you keep your entire body working together, which means it's not just isolated at the lower back. Feel the twist and move all the way up your spine into your neck and crown of the head, responding to the energy. So right now we're leading with the hips. Sometimes we'll lead with the heart. But most of the time, people have disconnected the upper and lower bodies, and so the spine is not moving as one unit. And obviously it's all connected, so we want to get that rhythm wave back into the spine. We're creating this S pattern from side to side, and then we're bending the knees and rolling around, creating a little bit more of a massage along the sacrum to open up this sacral center, this sacred sacral center. There's so much life force, Kundalini, that we want to move up the spine and use that energy for healing. Use that energy for restoring and rejuvenating the body. What I know for sure is we have all the energy we need. We just have to redistribute it. So we need to find out, where are we storing the energy? That's all fat is stored energy. It's stored experiences that have gone unprocessed. So we're utilizing that stored energy for rejuvenation, for regeneration, for healing. And as you can see, this can also spread out. So I can use just the leg loops. I can use just the swing. There's lots of different variations here. I can just switch it up and do one and then the other. So when we have the restorative with the suspended somatics therapy, the leg loops are used completely differently. And I just found that having the triple support helps people enjoy and get into some poses that they normally wouldn't do unless they were on the ground or on a table. So yeah, after we finish, you can just hang out here for the rest of the time because it feels so good. You're like, I made it, I'm home. That's totally fine. Just stay here if you're happy. If you want to go a little bit further, I'm going to show you how we get into our inversions here. I just want to let you know that we're playing close to the ground, so we're not going to go into a full inversion. It's just going to be more of a back bend inversion, and our neck is going to stay in a position like we are in a shoulder stand. Okay, so we want to always keep the neck happy. So I'm going to come on out. I'm going to start backwards so you can see me, or I can see you while I'm upside down. I'm going to sit in the swing again. Roll up nice and slow. And then I'm going to do the same thing where I get it behind my lower back. And so sometimes I'll just come in and out. Obviously I can transition, but since it's the first time we're playing, we're going to make it easy on you. So from our bridge pose, we can actually hook the legs. So we wrap them around wide and around, and then our feet are relaxed. We don't have to hold on for dear life with our toes. We can just let this happen. So from the back, the swing is coming across the inner thighs, and some people don't like it with their neck, with their chin tucked into their chest. So you can bring the swing up higher to do a full inversion if you don't like it. It's temporary. We do so many inversions in the air. It's just nice to get this restorative where we're resetting the neck and shoulders. Okay, so from this position, I can work with the rotation of the legs, which is really fun. You can always hold on if you feel like you need a little bit more support. But let's go ahead and trace the shape of your body, of your bubble with your toes all the way around. Jackknife. So I'm going to do my best to discern the left and right, same as what you're experiencing. So this is my left. This is my right, your left. So let's go ahead and put that foot back. Let's go extend the right. Let it swim around, all the way around. Let's come into a jackknife. And back around again. Beautiful. If you've turned around and we're in the same position, then this time what I'm calling right leg will be your left leg. So just do one leg and then the other leg and we'll figure it out. But yeah, notice what happens when you extend the leg back. It's a big stretch. You can also try and straighten your right leg more while left is extended, and that deepens the stretch. Just make sure the lower back is happy. We're going to leave with a happy back. That is our goal for today. Stretch back behind you, feel a little arch happen through the upper thoracic, and go ahead and straighten the left leg as much as it feels good on your back. It's a big stretch. We're moving the hips in multidimensional space in ways that they never ever explore. So we have to be very gentle when we go through the full range of motion to feel, where is it sticky? Where is it stuck? What do you notice? And hang out there. If you find something that feels incredible, like for me, I love this stretch through the IT band. I call it jackknife. I just pulse and hang out here. Because not only am I stretching my left hip, I'm digging into the right side of the QL. And when I dig in, it's hitting those neuromuscular points and releasing the trigger points. And then when I come out of it, it sends a huge wave and rush of energy. So anytime you can just bring both feet down, come out of it. If the inversions are new for you, or if you're feeling like, okay, I need a little break, come out, hang out with your chillaxin arms and your supported back bend, and just roll around for a minute. Your hips can touch down. You can come into the dynamic twist where you're windshield wipering, swagging the legs from side to side. Pulse into any part that's needing more love, more flow. And then when you're ready, hop back in. Let's do one more round. So legs wrap. So you really want to get the swing across the hips. If it's pinching your love handles, we all have the love handles, we all have a lot of love, it's not going to feel great. So you can get that a little bit lower across the iliac crest and then try again. Let's come into our jackknife again. Our arm position is really a personal choice. You can support your neck. You can have your hands holding on. You can do one arm bent, one arm grabbing, and then just hang out there at the edges. Let it feel good. If your foot feels like it isn't able to hold on, that's okay too. You can bring both feet over to the side and just try that. Try bringing one leg from a wide straddle, bring right foot down, left foot up, or bring both feet over to the right. Big twist. Go as far as it feels good today. Maybe this is as far as you want to go. But come on back up through center, wide straddle, turn to the left, let the left toes find the floor, right toes towards the sky, or big twist, both feet come over. To the right. They come up. That was a lot. Okay, go ahead and turn around if you need to, if you were facing the other way. See what that feels like. Move slow in the transitions. But I'm going to have a reset here. Feel what just happened. Just a few minutes of being in the variation of an inversion. And normally when we have the swing wrapped around the hips, I call it peaceful warrior. And when we're doing the inversion on the floor, it's with the chin tucked into the chest. So not a complete inversion, but enough that you can start to feel the spine tractioning out of the pelvis in space. Particularly for me, when I'm rolling around on the floor, I'm really focused on the space between the ribs and the hips and opening up this space here. Feels really, really good. I tend to have a short torso where it feels like my ribs are actually sitting on my hips, so I like to get as much space in the torso as possible, and lengthening through the front of the spine. Go ahead and undulate up and down a few times, lifting the hips, dropping the hips, having a moment of reset. You can see that's why I had said take your hair out, because we're going to play with the back of the head on the floor with some of these poses, and you don't want that to be in the way. Very good. Take a breath, reset. You can watch for this first one if you want, but what I want to do is I want to go into my toga sequence, and so I'm going to actually push the leg loops closer to the bottom of my ribs so I can isolate just the swing, and I'm going to get just one side of the swing on top of the shoulder. This is such a yummy sequence, by the way, for neck and shoulder tension. I'm going to keep my feet pressing into the ground using my chillaxing arms, and I'm going to roll around. The more I press back away from me, the more tension I'm putting on the neck and shoulders. So just be aware of that. If you want more tension, really press back. And if you want just a little bit of tension, just stay here, more towards the center of the mat. Okay, so let's go ahead and start with the right side. Come on back to center. So sometimes it's hard for people to get this if you haven't done it before. So we just want one side of the swing. The leg loops are lower. I'm pushing the leg loops down. So there's a space in between the swing and leg loops. Get your elbow in there and transition just one side of the swing across your back on a diagonal into the space between the neck and shoulders. You can position it exactly where you want it. If it's too close to the neck, it might not feel good, so I usually have it right in the center of the trap. And then using your arms to support your head, lean back into it. So the more you lean back, it's strong, and the more that you push back, it's strong. So play with it. Maybe even just do the swagger and the undulation S shape in the spine from side to side, as where you're lifting the hips and leaning back and dropping again. So we inhale and lift, exhale, drop, go back and forth a few times, and just feel that space, getting more space, wringing out the tension between the neck and shoulders. You can also tilt your head from side to side. I want you to open it up, feel it. Take some time to explore this spot. This is a stress spot. This is definitely a popular spot for tension. And we want to get the fabric tractioning over that tension, so we can even kind of pull it away a little and turn our gaze. looking underneath our underarm, and then come on back. Transition with everything behind the back. So we reset here, feel what just happened. We're gonna go back and forth a few times. So if you're like, no, I loved it, I wanna go back, then know that you have another opportunity. Also, if you didn't love it, you can just switch it up. One side will feel completely different than the other. I'll just let you know, after working with so many injuries with my clients, but also in my own body, one side will feel completely different. So bring that awareness, and whatever side needs more love, we're going to go back and do that side twice. So let's check it out. So just the swing over the shoulder. Go ahead and get the angle on a diagonal on your back. You can position it exactly where it feels best. I like the center of the trap. Chillaxin arms will support your head. You can push into your feet and roll around this way. Go nice and slow and explore. You don't have to make this a huge wave or a huge dynamic movement. I just like swaying around. But the more you push back with your feet, the stronger it is, so you can increase that digging in and that pressure, or the more that you just let your hips drop towards the center of the mat, then it can be much more easeful and gentle. Not one is better than the other. Most people are always telling me, just dig in as hard as you can, and I'm like, all that's going to happen is your body is going to resist and it becomes kind of like a wrestling match with the tension. And it's so much better to soften and open, and then it'll release. So soften in that space between the neck and shoulders. Can you assist the healing of the body by asking the neck and shoulders to soften? And it does, it changes things. So using the mind, body, being alignment by getting into a certain state, a state of ease and relaxation and flow, releasing resistance and opening up the pathways so our body is more like a super highway or river of life, of light, of energy, life force. Yeah, so that is our natural state. Our natural state is one of flow and of ease, and we can release the congestion, the buildup of tension that has been blocking the natural flow of energy. And this energy returns to us. It naturally rebalances itself, like water eroding rock, or like the way the river flows towards the sea. It all goes in one direction. It all follows the electromagnetics and the energy flow of the earth patterns. So does our body. Our body is a holographic representation of the earth. So we are mostly made up of water, which likes to flow. And if water gets stagnant, it can get really gooky and swampy. So we're wringing out the tension, we're wringing out the stagnation, so that we can start to shift and change. The energy will move. It's in motion. That's what emotions are, is energy in motion. So go ahead and take another moment here to press in and pause, and then release. Get everything very different. Everything, go ahead and drop the hips and just give it a moment to feel what is happening here. If you feel like you want to just come up and take a little break, you can do that too. But I like to stay kind of sitting and rolling around and just give the upper body a chance to breathe. Once we release the pressure and everything expands and opens again, that's like a sponge where we wrung it out and then it'll absorb. So this is when you can start to feel, after all of that intensity, like all this new softness and space and openness. And if it doesn't feel great on your neck and shoulders for whatever reason, injury, pain, just come back and hang out here in chillaxin for the next round. But now we're gonna go a little deeper for those that are like, that is the best feeling I've ever had in my life. I've been waiting my whole life to get this tension out, and you can do your own kind of like self-massage body work with the swing. And the swing is such a great medium for pressure and tractioning. We're gonna go back to the right side. Go ahead and give it a little hop. Get it exactly where it feels best on your neck and shoulders. And we're gonna work with not only pushing back and lifting the hips to come into a deeper back bend, but we're also gonna start to do a diagonal hook. So this is the toga hook with a twist. So I'm gonna hook my left leg, the opposite of the shoulder. I'm gonna hook it just over the leg loop. So if I hook it on the swing, it's gonna be more intense. So let's just start with hooking on the leg loop. And once I have that hook, I can straighten that leg towards the sky and push the hips up and go a little bit deeper. Now I'm almost in a complete inversion. And this is a lot, so find the right position. I love it, but if it doesn't feel good, just drop your hips. Change the weight, change the angle, and then if anybody wants to pick up the right leg, you can come into a twist. So the right leg can hook on the swing, or it can come into a full twist behind you. This is the toga twist. And now, not only do I have this pressure and I'm inverted, it's actually pulling towards my shoulder and opening up the space between the neck and the shoulder joint. So roll your head around if it feels safe and drop your ear to shoulder and accentuate this length in space that's happening. See what feels good for your body. This is obviously more dynamic, and you can just roll back down when you're ready and pull your other foot back down. Stay there as long as you want, or play around with the different variations. If you're done, come on back. Let's all just take 5 deep breaths and return to center. Meet back here when you're ready. If you found something juicy, if you feel like you're in a deep release, stay there. Feel like you can listen to your body and give yourself what you need in this practice, that there's freedom in the movement, that you can actually listen and respond and allow the time your body needs to reset. Some of this tension, it's like layers of rock, of sediment, layers of cement that has been decades of tension in the neck and shoulders. So that's why it feels so deep, so stuck, so stiff. And we want to kind of start to shed those layers, like shedding old bark. And we're doing that by releasing the surface charge, by digging into the connective tissue. Most of it is in the tissues. It's not even in the muscle. Most people are wanting to just dig into the muscles, where the muscles are just pawns. The muscles are getting triggers. They're getting signals in the synapses to fire. So there's nothing wrong with the muscle. It's actually in the nervous system. So the approach of clearing and aligning the nervous system and resetting that releases 90% of the tension in the body. And then of course we have to wring out the lymph and fascia. Not only reset the nervous system, but wring out the lymph and fascia. Okay, so let's go into the left side. Thank you for receiving all the little tidbits of data and information. If you want to learn more, you can book an online session with me as well as in person. I highly recommend it if you have an injury or some specific need, any sort of chronic illness or autoimmune. We can definitely help you and create more health and well-being in your body, mind, and spirit connection. So now we're going to hook. Right leg hooks on the leg loop, just the right leg. And my left foot is pushing into the earth, and then I can lift my hips, let the legs straighten towards the sky, and I'm coming more into an inversion, which is going to be the big squeeze. And with that, I can rock a little bit back and forth. Feel the difference between the left and right. The big squeeze is intense, so the more you go towards your neck, the more intense it is. You can actually pull it towards your shoulder and hit a different spot. But these are neuromuscular points that we're hitting that are very intense, but super helpful for wringing out the tension in the neck and shoulder. Then we can use our left foot to reach up. You can hook it onto the swing. Maybe that's as far as you're going, or you could come into the full twist, the toga twist. So in the twisted position, not only am I wringing out the spine, but I'm letting the swing slide and traction along that top space between the neck and shoulders, pulling it towards the shoulder joint. And I can assist by tilting my ear to shoulder and getting more length. It is going to be intense. So if it feels like ripping, burning, tearing sensation, that's the fascia opening up. And everybody is carrying more tension than they need. Come on in, bring that leg back down and around. Woo! Release everything. Stay there if you're really finding something juicy that wants more of your time. Take 5 breaths wherever you are. Everything is gathering behind the heart. Yeah. On the tips of the shoulder blades and behind the sternum. Just roll around. Feel what happened there. It is a deep reset of the neck and shoulders. And find the openness through the heart, through the chest. Find your body feeling more comfortable and relaxed on the ground. Roll around. We're going to mix it up now. That was a lot. That was definitely some of the most intense work I do with the swing. But now we're going to release the neck. Let's go ahead and come up to the neck, and then we're going to spend some time in our forward folds before we change position. So most of the time when we explore part of the body, then it will trigger an awareness within the part that's attached to it. So now let's go ahead and move up from the neck and shoulders to the occiput. So again, just the swing. My shirt is being devoured. Just the swing. I'm going to get the leg loops nice and low, supporting my ribs. And then the swing, I'm going to gently transfer to the neck. Move whatever material that's there out of the way. Your clothing, your hair, whatever it is. Just make sure that the neck is happy. Sometimes we have to make sure the swing is not twisted up as well. And just give it a little hop. Yeah, very good. It's okay to take a moment to get comfortable. Make sure it's like, okay, that feels good. All right. For me, my hair gets caught when I have my hair down. So it's a little bit of a cat and mouse with positioning. But yeah. So once we're here, I stay holding on. I'm going to keep my hands supporting. I can drop my hips, and I'm just going to gently rock from side to side. Make sure that you can stay, that it feels good, and it's something that is yummy on the body. You can release your arms down towards the ground. I do recommend, especially if you're new, keep the hands supporting so that the weight is just right. You can also hold on to the leg loops, but the swing is the main component that we're supporting right now. And then very gently, just create that rhythm wave. Rock your knees back and forth. Rock your neck back and forth. And just feel what happens to the tension in the cervical spine. Feel it respond to the rhythm wave. Just back and forth. Slow, gentle, easy. The weight is also being supported by the leg loops, so the body should feel safe, happy. Sometimes we need a little bit more pressure, and we can find that by pushing into our feet and lifting our hips, and then tractioning very gently from the occiput to the middle of the neck. And if that doesn't feel good, just come on up. Let it rest a little bit higher. and just keep your chin tucked into your chest and stay chill. If your neck doesn't want to do that, you can always just come up and take a seat and take a break. But if it feels good, dig in and lean back. There's so many different variations that I do here. Normally I'll be working with the swing over the massage table and doing some hands-on tractioning and pulling. So you can pull the one side of the swing away and at the same time use your hand to lengthen through the scalene into the ear. It just feels amazing. So you can try that. Listen to the body. What would feel good right now? Experiment with that. Don't go too far with the neck, especially if it's the first time and your neck is super tight. If it's stiff and we go to stretch it, it'll break. If it's supple and we stretch it, it'll bend. So make sure that it's supple and it's warmed up before we try and stretch it, so that we don't actually create more pain or discomfort. And then we're going to go ahead and transition back behind the heart again. And just take a moment. Take a moment to reset here. Feel that. Oh, so amazing. Right, there's so many different poses that we can do. We're just getting a little sampler today. We'll have about another half hour of active, and then we are going to get into our Shavasana. So stick with it. If at any point you want to just rest, come back here. You can also just come and sit in the swing if your upper body is like, I feel done with hanging by my underarms, which is very reasonable. So you can just sit in the swing too and just come back here when you want a little break, or even here. So I love swinging. It's just one of my favorite feelings, right? Just rocking and rolling around in the swing is enough. That's super yummy. So all of that is welcomed. For those that want to go deeper, I'm going to show you how we can just roll around and onto the belly and work with the floor. So you're going to just either start facing away, or you can actually go in the same direction. But from here, I just roll all the way over. And now everything is supported at my hips. So it's okay for the swing to be a little bit more on the belly. And people have been asking me what to do when it's super uncomfortable on the hip flexors when we come into our forward folds. This would be the alternative, is just bring it down low and have it tripled up so you have more material supporting your body. So again, I'm going to start out just here. How do we get into that with ease? We start out sitting in the swing, facing away, and then I'm just going to roll. Every transition is part of the pose, so that rolling is digging in as well. So yeah, so now that I'm here, I have it on my belly, it's on the hip bones, and then I can spread it out as much as I need, even all the way up to my rib cage if I want. So you can make that wider, or you can bring it down so it's just on the legs. But let's just play here nice and low. So this is all the slow, low flow that I like to do on Sundays in my workshops. The next series I'm doing is at Meta Yoga in the Bay Area in Corte Madera. I have a monthly class for April, May, and June, if you guys want to see me in person. By the way, you can find me at Meta Yoga in Marin. And then I also do monthly retreats and personalized stays and trainings in Maui every month. So if you want to come and practice in person, I highly recommend it. Otherwise, just enjoy the virtual experience, enjoy the series, and watch it again and again. Even doing the same poses, you're going to get something new and different every single time. So right now, I'm just hanging out on my elbows. I'm just playing. I'm just rocking my legs. I'm letting the lower body explore in space, switching it up. Today, the focus is on the pillar and the alignment of the spine, as well as exploring the bubble of energy and the space around us. And with that, we are working with the upper and lower bodies communicating together. So I just want you to feel When you spin, is your upper body coming with you? Can you feel the rhythm wave all the way up and down the spine? And sometimes one of the ways that I work with this is I come into a version of cat-cow. You know, for me, my knees don't like kneeling anymore, so being in the swing is so helpful. But you can do the cat's meow, which is my version of cat-cow, so we can roll around as well. But you can do this with your feet on the ground instead of the knees as well. But whatever feels good, I want you to just go ahead and practice arching and opening as well as rounding in. The swing can be closer to the navel, which can help you pull the navel up towards the sky a little bit more, and traction through the hip flexors. I like to push forward and arch, so I'm getting a little bit bigger of an up dog motion. And then exhale, you can round in and pull the knees down. Inhale, arch and lift. Do what feels good. Exhale, round. Slow it down. Do some loop-de-loops. Figure eights. I want you to feel the rhythm wave. So when you press your hips forward and arch, you feel the energy go all the way up to the crown of the head. And then when you exhale, you can round the navel towards the sky, round your tailbone, and bring the energy back down. Press the energy down towards your heels, towards your feet. And then inhale, let the energy rise. Feel like you can participate in the energy shifting from lower to upper body. Exhale, round, squeeze, pressing back. And then inhale, go ahead and come forward, arch and open. Stretch through the hip flexors. The swing is pulling up. And it just feels incredible on the psoas. And I love the pressure on the navel and on the belly, wringing out the lower abdomen and organs. Exhale one more time, round it and squeeze. We can even bring our forehead down and do a version of child's pose where the swing is lifting us up as we are letting our sit bones drop towards our ankles, towards our heels. And then again, big motion, big wave forward, coming up, really stretch it out. And now when we come down, there's so many things we can do here. I'm gonna let the swing slide down towards my hip flexors again. So try this. You can stay in your cat-cow. Like I said, I always give variations. Just stay in your cat-cow or your child's pose if you're happy. But if you want to start to float, usually what I like to do is bring the legs wide into a wide straddle and then just play with bringing them from side to side. So I'm really letting the legs, I call it helicopter spinning, coming from side to side within my body of light and my bubble. And then if you want to go a little bit deeper, you can roll your upper body over to the side and feel that spin, that twist go all the way up the spine, all the way up. We're gonna do this with our feet on the ground too, which is a little bit harder, but it's just good to know, like we could just do it here and do a variation of the spinning, opening up the opposite arm and twisting. I always get like an amazing adjustment in my back when I do this. You get your chiropractor and your rolfer all in one. Twist, open up. One more time, twist and spin, spiral. Paying attention, what side feels different. If this side's tighter for me, as you probably noticed, if it is, you can just hang out there. Oh, feels so good. Alrighty, just use gravity. Open it up. So then, for those that want to go a little bit deeper, you don't have to do this, just FYI. But for those that want to come into a wide straddle, splits, you can come up onto your feet. We're going to dig in, and this is lifting even more, and you can pulse forward and back. Stay where you were if this is not your jam, or you can come up a little bit higher, or you can actually sit down. But I want you to feel what's happening here. So the swing and leg loops are pulling up through the psoas, through the hip flexors, and you don't have to come down all the way into your splits. I'm just gonna stay up on my heels today. Sometimes I'll ground down and push forward, but I'm just gonna stay up because it's a little bit lighter on the pressure on the belly. But if you like to go deeper, just come into a forward fold from here, and then you can also add your spin, and from your splits, open it up like we were doing before. Coming onto a forearm. You can even grab and lean into it, which feels amazing. Come the other way, grab, lean into it, open it up. Make sure the knees are happy. Make sure that you're getting an even stretch on both sides, stretching the body evenly. And if this is too much, you can always actually come and sit down and be like, this is good. You don't have to come into full straddle splits. Because everyone's like, that's not restorative. But yeah, do the restorative version of the splits. So yeah, so this is okay too. All right, stay with the leg loops and the swing at your navel, at your belly, pulling up, or just transition into sitting on the ground and swaying from side to side like this. And when you're done, let's all meet here. Let's all come to a seated position in a wide straddle, as far as you want to go. So what I have noticed, and again, we have lots of material to work with, so you can actually come down a level and layer if you want to go deeper, or you can stay up. You can stay up a little higher. What I have noticed is that most people round their back. They do this in wide straddle. What we need to do is arch at the lower hips. So just create this little pulse where you're rolling. It's not a flat surface, it's a wheel. So it's a sphere. So we need to roll the pubic bone back and down in order to come forward. So most people leave their pubic bone pointing forward and then they're rounding at their upper back. Stay lifted and let it happen in the hip creases where your pubic bone rocks down and back. And that is what allows the body to come forward. These are like the little helpful hints that I really wish somebody was teaching. You know, I love the different forms of yoga, but we want to get the alignment of the body and the spheres and the wheels so we understand how to play in the joints. So now I can come a little bit further down as my pubic bone leads the way, keeping my front spine long. I only come down as far as I can go to keep that arch. You can flex your feet for a more dynamic and intense experience, or just let your feet relax to come down more. It's not about how far down we go, it's about rocking the pelvis. So the upper body comes along. If you can see that and if you can tell what's happening here. So I'm just rocking my pelvis forward and back. And this is kind of the introduction to how to work with the Kundalini energy and the energy up and down the spine. Is we have to open up the pelvis. So that's from side to side, as well as front and back, and then twisting, not just side to side in one plane, but twisting. That's why we were doing those amazing dynamic twists. And we want to back off and actually bring the legs in or do less so that we can get the alignment. The most important thing is it's like deepening in the hip creases to get that internal spiral, even with the legs wide, so that when we rock forward, we can feel the initiation all the way from the tailbone lifting back, up and back. And that's what allows the crown of the head to come down. So a little bit of like my favorite of the alignment principles mixed in there. Go ahead and hold on to the swing or leg loops. Let the legs sway from side to side a little bit. Take a little pause. We're going to come back in to our forward folds and do just about another 15 minutes. Just stick with me for about another 15 minutes, and I promise you we'll have such a yummy, delicious, long meditation and Shavasana experience today. Really good. So I like just holding on and leaning back. It's so awesome, so yummy on the spine. You can bring the swing up or down if you feel like you need to bring it up a little bit so you have a little bit more room. That's fine too. But then what I'm gonna do is pull myself back up to sitting using my bicep curl and lift. Okay, so we wanna use our body to, you can just find your way back up too. So coming back in, I'm gonna sit in the swing, roll it over, and now I'm gonna work with the legs again. We've been digging in to the quads and hip flexors today. Back on my forearms. You can come up into a plank pose, that's fine too, but I'm wanting to have a little bit more weight in my legs. So I'm gonna go ahead and let my body sway from side to side. Very easy, just opening it up side to side. Now instead of it being on the belly, it's down on the quads. So digging into the quads is some of the most important work that we can do. And in case you missed it, it's what we've been doing all day. The quads are so key for releasing lower back pain. So I use the fabric, I use the swing to inchworm down, just pedaling and pushing into the swing and leg loops to get it down towards my knees. Now right about here is when people are like, oh my God, because it starts wringing out and squeezing the top of the quads. We're working the meridians and the energy lines at the same time, hitting some of these neuromuscular points that are like OMG, where everyone starts cursing and dropping F-bombs, but it's supposed to be intense. And then we can just bend our knees and lift our hips to slide it back up. So go up and down the legs a few times and just see what that's like to feel. Who knew? So much tension was living in our quads. But after doing this for many, many decades, it is where a lot of our stored emotions are hiding. They're hiding in our quads. So yeah, so it's okay if you're feeling a little frustrated or irritated. All of that will release because our surface charge, as it continues to ring out, will bring sweet relief to our lower back and open up the lines communicating to our belly and our hip flexors so the energy can flow again. Okay, a couple more times, slide all the way down to the knees. You know, obviously if we don't control it by our weight, it'll just pop down to the knees too quick. If that happens, bend your knees, bring it back up to the top of the thighs and do it one more time. Slowly, 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 pedaling, bringing the feet up and down, moving from side to side. You can even rest your upper body on the ground if you really want to stretch out. But make sure that your neck is happy. You can even go with the motion and look from side to side. Keep the whole communication of the spine open. Really good, really yummy. And then find the spot. There's a spot where it is most intense and just hang out there. Just pulse up and down, really gentle into that spot, wherever it is. We all have that spot. This is where we start singing opera as well. Woo! Acapella. Just dig in for as long as it feels good. Adjust your body weight. Adjust the surface area. The more it's spread out, the more you can kind of tolerate more pressure. But yeah, after a few rounds of that, very good. Bend your knees, come on back up. Sink into a child's pose. Oh my goodness. Let the swing be at the waist again, on top of the hips. Just feel what happened. I have one more sequence I want to share with you, and then I promise you'll drop in and relax. But yeah, this work on the front of the spine, front of the belly. You can lift up again if you really love that digging in. I love bringing out the organs. You can work on the stomach, working the stomach and spleen energies. We can bring that all the way up into the solar plexus. Drop the knees down, let it roll up even more. Oh, so good. Do a few cat-cows or stay in your child's pose, floating child's. Rolling it around. You can even do a little side to side coming into plank. If you like more of the core strengthening, you can do this without utilizing or losing the alignment, utilizing the swing to lift up through the navel so you don't collapse through your belly. And you're still getting your core exercises. It's still hard. Trust me, it's still hard. So there's a lot of dynamic movement you can bring into these poses, or you can just keep it chill, keep it simple, okay? So now we're gonna roll back down. I'm gonna come into another version of the leg extended into down dog to an upside down dog. So yeah, so if we wanted to keep the feet hooked and pressed back, I call this an upside down dog. So we can actually use the swing in a much more gentle way where there's just a little bit of support. If we walk our feet forward a lot, then it'll pull the hips back and it can be a down dog like this. But when I practice, I like to be in the upside down dog where I actually hook my feet outside in and then go ahead and press back with your chest. So this is the low flying dog. And you can rest your forehead down, your chin down. Whatever feels good to let the lower body elevate. I usually like to keep my knees bent and my feet close to my bum so I don't slide out, but we're not going to go far since we're so close to the ground, so you can experiment with what that would be like to come into a deeper back bend. We want to make sure that the lower back is happy, so only go as far as it feels good. And then for those that want a little bit more of a dynamic practice, just stay here in the restorative if you're happy, or come up onto your hands just as we do in our down dog sequence. You can come into an up dog and then press back, strong hands. You can do the upside down dog. I'm going to come onto the floor and pull forward a little bit more to get the dynamic movement. Inhale, up dog. Exhale, press back, down dog. Inhaling, you can stay on your forearms or elbows, which is really nice, and just pull forward and back or come all the way up. See what you like. See if you can make it more mellow and restorative. And then go ahead, everybody. Release down, do a counter pose after all that arching. Let the swing ride up towards the navel. Give it a little helping hand if you want to dive in a little bit more. Rest here. Take 1 full minute, 60 seconds to just sink into it. Be as relaxed and easy about it as possible. Stay pushing back. Push back into your child's pose. And let that feel good. Our last pose for today. Yay! When you roll up, I want you to come up nice and slow and just see how that feels, because the organs tend to be very tender and very sensitive. So as you roll up, you can keep walking forward, walk forward, crawl, whatever you need to do to come up to stand. Whew, we made it. So that's a really good sample. There's obviously so many variations that we can do with the swing floor combination or the swing table combination. But now we're ready for final relaxation. Thank you so much for sticking with it. The Shavasana is the most important part, so please do give yourself the extra rest. We're going to go ahead and come in with the swing underneath our bum. The leg loops are at our knees. And then walk in nice and easy, like we do. And then once you are hanging, make sure that you can lean back and that there's enough swing above your head. Give it a little hop or shimmy if you need to move that around. Yeah, we're gonna come into a 20-minute version of a meditation. And so stick with it. You know, like just spread everything out. Find the best position for your legs. Everything spreads out. So push the leg loops away. You can keep one bunched up behind the knees. You can keep one at the ankles. You can do whatever combination, but it is very different. Notice how different it is to utilize the leg loops in this saddle position. Okay, cool. See if you need to wiggle your hips. Find your favorite position for your arms. Maybe that's overhead. Maybe you want to give yourself a big hug today. Maybe you want to keep the knees bent. Whatever feels like the most yummy, delicious, restorative, relaxed, held place for you to drop in. Feel what it's like to be fully suspended. Gently rocking, bringing your practice to a close for today. Noticing, feel the difference from when we started to now. What's changed? What's rearranged? Feel how wonderful it is to be supported. No pressure. We're so used to laying on flat surfaces when the body is round. The body is spherical. We sit in chairs that are flat. We lay in beds that are flat. Our bodies love to be supported and suspended. And feel how the swing is molding to the shape of your body. It's stretching with you. It's responding to you. And it's holding you, it's hugging you. Enjoy that sensation. You can even let the breath go now. Watch the breath. Watch the air moving in and out of your lungs. Observe how your body breathes you. You can participate in it, but luckily it happens for you. Like the blood pumps around and circulates for you. Your body is intelligent. It's the most advanced communication device on the planet. Most advanced technology, and we want to get to know this instrument, how it works, how energy works, how we can flow, how we can tap into its genius and its resource. Give yourself a big hug. Wrap your arms over your chest. Just take a moment to be. Permission to be. Your belonging is welcome here. You can just be. Everything is taken care of. Just let yourself be. Fully here. It's the greatest gift we can give ourselves and each other. It's permission to be. Just exactly as this moment is presenting itself. Enjoy that invitation to deepen the relationship to self, the source to being. maybe for the first time ever, you can truly just let yourself be. And with this, notice that the nervous system changes. Maybe there's a wave of relief, or even deeper relaxation, letting go. Full permission to be. Nothing to do and nowhere to go. This is it. This moment here is the most precious, the most powerful, the most important, the place where we can find peace in our hearts, in our minds, in our belly, in our bones, in our cells. The sweet and deep peace that is underneath the action. Meditation is so simple. Just allow yourself to be, to breathe with it, to feel it, to open to the grace and ease that's underneath the surface of the waves, the surface charge on the body. Just drop in deeper. Feel the depths of the ocean inside you. The waves are always there, crashing on the shore. But deep, deep down, there is a well of well-being that you can tap into, and you can feel this fountain. It takes a moment to discover the stillness, the vibration, the pulsation, beyond the surface, beyond the mind, beyond the thoughts. Your being is always right here. We took all that time to wring it out, to squeeze, to twist, to turn, all to access this openness to our being, to get beyond the surface. It's when we deeply let go and relax that we find this connection, this place of blended with our being, access point to the portal of our well-being. That's always right here. Always available and waiting for us. So enjoy the stillness, the quietude, the gentle rocking, the depth of relaxation. Enjoy it all. Enjoy who you're becoming as you blend with this being in the now. Now is the only time and place you can access this connection. Only the now does it exist. So we put down the weight of the past and the worry for tomorrow, and we give our full attention to our body, being, matrix. Feel the sensation of life force energy flowing through you evenly, smoothly, effortlessly. river of life. Keep surrendering into it deeper and deeper. Always keeping some of your awareness on the inner domain, the inner terrain. Even when you come out of meditation, you keep this connection, this channel open and flowing. And 5 more deep, sweet, luxurious minutes with yourself, for yourself. Stay for as long as you want, as long as you can. If you have 15 minutes, even better. A half hour is a deep, deep reset. Every day, get into the swing and let it teach you. Let it hold you, let it hug you, let it heal you. It is a portal for transformation. Take this precious time to receive. You are an antenna, a receiver and transmitter. Your body, the radio, your nervous system, the antenna. Every cell is a little microcomputer receiving and transmitting. Tap into the essence, the original divine purity of your essence before all of the layers and conditioning and programming come back to your true nature. Remembering. If your body needs more rest, take a nap. If your body feels like it wants more time in nature, go for a walk. More sunlight, more water, more downtime, more play. Listen to the deep wisdom within your being, guiding you, showing you the way. Balance your work and your play. Balance your activity and your sleep. The whole plane of existence we live on is about balance. The sun moving into the perfect equanimity on the spring equinox. The balance of light and dark, yin and yang, masculine and feminine. It's all within us. A mirror of symbology, a hologram that we can tune to within our own being. Let it start here, welcoming ourselves back home to our heart, to this space and this place where we could just be. Be with the breath, be with your body,
be with your being in a whole new way. Be with every tree, every bird, every situation differently. Just be with it all. I'm going to let you be for the next 10-15 minutes. Stay where you are. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining us, for exploring, for playing, for experiencing your being in a new way. Namaste.